I am Marwan Cameron, and this is the Conduit. Oh, it's Thursday. It's April 22nd, 2021. 63 degrees in Kitsap County this evening. Coming early tonight. It's a special broadcast. Matter of fact, we call it emergency broadcast. You know, this is going to be a follow-up from last night where I posted about another child, tragically lost. And this is coming to you in prime time. But first, I have to address some things. Now, I'm going to have a guest that comes on here in about 5 minutes. And I talk about, there's something that feels different about 2021, that people are finding ways to collaborate and do different things, which is good. And a lot of us have already been out here doing a lot of the work, which is awesome. But there are many of us out here that either call us leaders, have leadership thrust upon us, or want to be leaders. And as such, if you are going to serve in that role, then you must walk the walk. And that can be difficult to do. And it's so easy to point fingers and be divisive. Well, I'm not perfect. I have been that person. And while I believe in what I was angry about, what I did not exhibit leadership qualities. Not only that, that could go to serve to dismantle missions. Not only other people's missions, but my own. Because it's important for you to be congruent. The thing that we have that's going on in our country and our society as we try to dismantle these institutions, as we try to heal ourselves, because we're all hurting, we're all sick, right? Hurt people hurt people. You got to stand up and you have to be accountable. See, it's a blessed thing when you not only do the work, but you have the time to be reflective. I did 2 podcasts yesterday. One, thanking everyone for the marathon for the Great Give. And toward the end of that marathon, there were several Black men that came on to the panel and had a discussion about current issues and what they're into and what they're about. And what I said then and what I say currently is I created the Conduit to be just that, right? A conduit, a device to which information, collaboration can flow in both directions, to give voice to those that may not have a voice. Well, that means that I'm in a leadership position. So I have no right to either try to control a voice or stifle a voice or not let a voice be heard because of personal issues that I may have. Telling the story about relationships. We're gonna do a podcast series on relationships at some point in time. And I was talking with the Reverend about, being upset with your significant other. And, I'm a type of person, I'm a short fuse, right? It takes a long time to get me mad. But when I do get mad, I'm pretty mad, right? And I like to stay mad for days. I can stay mad for a long time. But after time wears off, and however long your arc of being mad is, sometimes by the time you look back and you wonder, you're like, you know what? What was I even mad about? It wasn't even that serious. It can't be that serious. Our children are dying. They're dying at the hands of the police. They're dying at the hands of each other. They're taking their own lives. It's not that serious. So it's time for me to be accountable in the hope that other men can stand up and also be accountable so that we can build and not to destroy. So, Bailey, I'm going to apologize to you for the way that I acted. And as I said before, I do feel that my anger was justified, but not in the way that I dealt with it. And not only that, but people follow me. So it does no good to try to dismantle anything else that someone is trying to do that is worthwhile. And what I mean by that is this. People will say, well, I didn't actively try to do something to that person. I just didn't work with them. Or I just didn't say anything about it. But then we say to people that are around the cops, the bad cops, right? We say to the good cops, well, silence is violence. Your silence makes you complicit. You're not adding to the solution. At best, you're adding to the problem because we need to build. So a man, a true man, if we're going to stand on our square, have to find ways to navigate past those things. Men of Kitsap County, we are facing an existential threat to ourselves, to our children, to our community. And it's nothing to play with. And at the end, there's nothing that is as serious as lives being lost, especially our children. As I said, I'll be reaching out to you, but I sure hope that you will reach out to me. How do we expect our children to move and navigate against the hurt if we can't demonstrate that ourselves? See, they watch everything we do. They hang on our every word. So when we're in that room, in that back meeting, we're having that conversation, and we have that divisive word to say about our brother, and they say, hey, my mentor, my leader, he holds grudges. He has people that he doesn't like or she doesn't like. So it's all good. I'm going to follow suit. We must be congruent, and it starts with us. And so when I had that conversation for the Kitsap Great Give, which was fantastic, and I told you that I was cleaning up my house and reflecting on what was going on, yet there's another murder on television. And then I had a conversation with Drayton Jackson. Shout out to Drayton. And what's important is you have to have folks in your life that you can have conversations with and that you can be vulnerable with. That you can speak your mind, speak your hurt, speak your pain, speak your anger. See, as heterosexual men and particularly Black men, we are often not allowed a full range of emotion. Anger makes us dangerous. Being loud makes us dangerous, threatening. Crying, being sad makes us weak. It's just the opposite. Well, we've got to tell ourselves that and then model that behavior for our children and for other men and the community. How do we hope to change anything if we are not willing to change ourselves? I'm watching young Michaela Bryant die in a senseless death in pure chaos with more than a half a dozen people standing around. As I said before, we don't know what she's going to become, but we can't lose anymore. We know we will because it's not going to change overnight, but we've got to take action. So I don't want to waste any more time. I do want my guest to come on. I'm going to go ahead and send Bailey an invite. Bailey is my guest this evening. I also feel like this is important for me to do in the light because folks that don't know the way or only hear or see the post, right? Everything's all good now. They didn't get to see the trial. They didn't get to see the conversation. They didn't get to see the transition. So they don't know what it looks like, right? They just see the finished product. Please keep in mind that you can sing, but you can't shame me. You can't insult me. Your need to be right has nothing to do with me. And you sure can't guilt me. My job is to be the best man that I can be and continue to be a better man every day of my life. Always knowing that I will always fall short of the glory. But if I'm blessed to wake up the next day, then I'm going to try to do better. Our children need to see it. Other people in the community need to see it. There are so many people in this community that need to heal. There's so many folks that are fractured, that are holding grudges. And again, shout out to Cynthia. Again, and I talked about this in one of my podcasts, for her 60th birthday, she was apologizing to people. And it was so strange to me. It was her day. Why would she apologize to people on her day? Woo, wise woman. We all love children. We all want to do good. We all love our community. We all must find ways to collaborate and work together. You do what you do. I do what I do. And when we can merge together, we merge together and we bring it forward. The time is now. It's late. We've lost so many people. So much senseless death. So petty. Why are you mad? Who are you mad at? How many burdens are you carrying? Unburden yourself. Love is stronger than hate. I know it sounds cliche, but it's very freeing when you can let it go. Doesn't mean that you're abandoning your principles. Doesn't make you weak. Just the opposite. Makes you strong. But if we're competing with messages of the mainstream media, some of our toxic music that's out there, some of the cultural things that take our attention, then it is up to us to provide healthy, restorative content and provide a pathway forward. We're still not out of this pandemic. The eviction moratorium is going to wear off. We still have thousands of hungry people just here in our county. We know there's going to be another pandemic after this one at some point in time. Oh, we're due for the big earthquake. You know, there's so many of these little sayings. Together we stand, divided we fall. And oftentimes we just can't put ego aside. I can do bad all by myself. Anyone resonate with that one? And so oftentimes you do. And you spite your nose, spite your face, cut your nose off. Bigger than you. It's bigger than me. And it's going to take all of us, all of our unique skill sets, and all of our love and compassion for each other, for people we don't know, to move forward and have sustainable change. That's why in the title I put Hit Dogs Holler. And if you don't know what that means, it means if someone says something and you kind of, ow, that hurt, kind of took that personal, then that might be for you. So when thinking about this, that was me. Hit dogs holler. Ow! You know, at the end of the day, it's actually not that hard to do. Actually feels pretty good. What does Ice Cube say? Coming out feeling about 10 pounds lighter. But someone has to model the behavior, not just the good behavior, but the hard lessons also. So I hope this is helpful as we wait for Bailey to click on in. Let's check out the chat. Oh, hey there, Miss Cynthia. Did you hear me talking about you? Were your ears burning? For real, where's the value of life? Absolutely. Speak on it. And yes. No, I appreciate you tremendously. Like I said, your speech at your birthday, definitely caught me off guard. I'd never been to a birthday like that where you were seeking forgiveness and trying to give everyone that attended a gift. I love being reflective. I love being able to look back and see where I've grown. You're at the gym, you're working out. You know how it is, Cynthia. We're at Planet Fitness. And you're going, you're on the treadmill, you're lifting the weights, checking yourself out. Like, oh man, ain't nothing changed yet. Ain't nothing changed yet. 2 months in, you're like, oh man, it finally changed. It does look a little bit different. People are telling me my face is looking a little thinner. Personal growth is a lot like that. You don't see it while it's happening. You just kind of see it after when you're reflective on it. The thing is that we do need to be more meditative and more reflective. And that's what they say when they mean what they mean by do the work. You got to do the work. But it's not enough for you just to do the work out in the community. You also have to do the work on yourself. So many people watching us. And we're good at justifying our positions. We'll defend our position to the end, even to our own detriment. Cynthia says, I'm walking at the park right now. I want my values to be in line with my actions. If I value health, I need to show it in my actions. Those are facts. Those are facts. And Cynthia, I've been in so many circles where folks, have had a negative experience with folks, especially in a small town, right? And if you've been here for a long time, you undoubtedly are going to have issues with folks, right? And not only do we have these issues, but we can go a little further and, hey, what do you think about such and such? Oh, no, I wouldn't. I'm guilty of that. I've done that. It's self-serving and it doesn't help anything. But many of us are religious or spiritual. And even for those that aren't, we have our sayings, treat people the way that you'd want to be treated. But yet we're doing just the opposite. But if someone does that to us, then we are offended, appalled, perturbed. And our feelings are somehow justifiable. I deserve to feel this way. You don't understand. Yeah, but no, it's different here. You just don't understand. No, I get it. ready to let it go yet. You can see the sty in my eye, but you can't see it in your own. So it's hard, it's difficult. I like to say it's really difficult for me to do it on air while everyone is looking at me in a vulnerable state. But we often tell folks that are in mentorship positions, my dad would tell me, especially toward the end of his life, he said, son, I wasn't the best parent. I did the best that I could by you and your brothers and sisters. And my advice to you would be take the things that you feel that I did good and use them in your own parenting in your life. And the things that you disagree with or the things that you felt that I did that were bad or harmful, just reject those things and throw those things away. There was a time that I had so much anger from my dad. I was the first one adopted, and then he had the nerve to adopt 16 other kids. How dare he? I was the only child. I was special. And all the trials and tribulations of being a kid growing up. But man, they say sometimes when you have kids, you'll understand. I didn't understand it when I first had kids, but I get it now. And he was absolutely right. And why would I expect him to be perfect or right all the time? But sometimes we just need that acknowledgement. We are so tremendously powerful as individuals in our own rights, but the things that we can do and accomplish together, and we've seen it, we've had proof of concept. Right? Cynthia says, I am learning to be a bigger person these days because my peace came at a cost. Yes, for sure. There's a saying in the church that says unspeakable joy. They say, well, I just can't describe it to you. You'll know it when you have it. I talked in another podcast about us carrying our burdens, right? We all have our burdens, we all have our crosses to bear. And we're looking around and we see all these bags of burdens. And it's like, whoo, yeah, let me go ahead and pick up that bag. That bag right there looks real heavy. Yeah, I'll take that bag. You know what? Let me get two of those. And we pick up these bags of burdens for what? Let them go. They're not even yours to carry. And when you finally understand that and you start letting those bags go, you feel so much freer, so much lighter. You gain that peace. You have more energy. It's easier to smile, even in the face of all the adversity and everything that's going on. You're able to do all the things in earnest that we are supposed to do. Love, forgive, help, assist, but not in the way that I want to help you, but help you in the way that you need the help. See, it's not about me. That's me putting the ego to the side. We get caught up in that a lot, right? Anita is trying to bring me a bag of potatoes and some jackets. I appreciate that, Miss Anita. Thank you very much. As you know, Miss Anita is my surrogate Filipino mother. It is good to have folks that love you and that check on you. If you haven't seen my interview with Miss Anita, you should definitely check it out. And she is a tireless woman. And, she's up early in the morning, oftentimes, 1, 2 in the morning, asking me how I'm doing. How's my blood pressure? Am I getting enough sleep? I appreciate that. Yes, ma'am. I did like the kimchi. Thank you. So, like I said, our guest tonight is Bailey Tupai. And when he comes on, our discussion is going to shift to current events. But I wanted to have this conversation with all of you first. G2's mission is self-sufficiency for all Kitsap County residents. During the telethon on the Kitsap Great Give, we had board members speaking about what G2 did for them. And not just that they were providing services, but how they were able to heal and grow, develop professionally and personally. Some of the stories I've known about, some were new to me, and quite surprising, pleasantly. And then listening to some of the folks that came to us for services and ended up also providing services and speaking on that. And so, to be clear, people will define self-sufficiency in a lot of different ways, but self-sufficiency does not mean that you do it on your own. Self-sufficiency is more about an interdependence, not independence and not codependence. We need each other. We've got to be able to ask for help when we need it. We need to be able to help each other. We need to be able to leverage our knowledge, skills, and abilities to accomplish our goals. And live the lives that we want for ourselves and our children. That's what self-sufficiency means to me. That's what it means to G2. And as such, you define it. We don't. I can't define what self-sufficiency looks for you. Looks like for you. So, even as the executive director and the founder, G2 must also feed me. Do I come to this realization if I'm not out here doing the work? Maybe, but probably not my focal point. Probably more focused on me, focused on Layla, and that's pretty much it. Everything else, I don't care what's going on. They ain't got nothing to do with me. That hot mess over there, y'all can have that. So that is the inner dependence that I'm talking about. So I'm definitely happy for that. Do you think you can send somebody? Yes, we can send someone to your house to pick it up. What is your address? I will. Oh, I should ask you. And what is a few good hours to come by? You know, it's important to know it is today is April 22nd. Now, not this Saturday, but next Saturday at the Marvin Williams Center, there is a huge vaccine event. If you would like to get your vaccine and you need a ride, G2 is providing free transportation to the Marvin Williams Center. We'll pick you up at your home or wherever you're at, bring you back. And when it's time for you to get that second shot, we'll pick you back up and bring you back again at no charge. You can give us a call at 360-373-3000. Also, the rental assistance program is back. Over $3 million was given to this community to keep people in their homes at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. If you are behind on your rent or you think you are going to be behind on your rent, give us a call. We can help you with that. 360-373-3000. What people don't often understand, and many in our community and class may have someone living with us because whatever reason, they had to move back home. You had to move in with a friend and you had an agreement. You're going to pay them $600, $700 a month, but you lost your job, whatever the case may be. This program can work for you. It is tremendously low barrier. It's very easy to complete and qualify for the program. We will work with you step by step to complete the paperwork. Any rides you need associated with your rental assistance are also free. 360-373-3000. Give us a call. The moratorium on evictions ends June 30. We are almost here in May. So you're talking about 70 days left. Please stay in your home. Let us help you get rental assistance. It is truly critical. Truly critical. We have drivers on standby, ready to get you there. And that also goes for not just the Marvin Williams Center, but if you're going to go and get the vaccine at another location, give us a call. We're not going to charge you for that. If you have made the decision uh, to get vaccinated, then we're here to support that. And if you're not, we're here to support that too. As I said before, when I am going to get vaccinated, I was really looking forward to the Johnson and Johnson. I will bring it on to the Conduit, and then I will vlog about it every day so you can see what I go through. Hopefully nothing. Because I think that's important, because there's so much information out there. We don't know what's good, bad, or otherwise. So again, please use us. That is what we are here for. Wow. Looks like we lost another hip hop artist, DMX, Rob Bass, and now someone from the Digital Underground. Whew. The losses are coming so fast right now. The losses are coming so fast. Just wow. We aren't promised tomorrow. My dad would say, if you ain't right, you better get right, son. I can hear his voice. If you ain't right, you better get right, son. Today we did our dinner service. I believe it was, I think, beef and bean burritos, homemade, of course, refried beans, my favorite, and Spanish rice. I believe that's what the meal was. Today I went down to where Bailey is giving out the food on Thursdays and got 4 packages. I have, we bring my neighbor a hot meal on Thursday nights, but we were able to give them some food. We were also able to give one of our older clients some food also. So we gave her uh, the other 2 boxes. And then we have a gentleman who is sleeping in his car on our street. And the neighbor that we provide food to, um, he knows them. And so they've made it possible for him to keep his car parked on our block. And so with the milk and some of the perishables, they'll be able to keep in the refrigerator and then make those available for him as he needs them. And so definitely appreciative to that. Let's see. Cynthia says, and it is the births. We have deaths. However, we have lots of babies being born too. Well, that's for sure. And COVID babies is a thing, right? I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna be able to help in that category. I'm done with the changing the diapers and everything else. It's like even my grandkids are out of diapers now, so I'm good. Not gonna be able to do it. I could do my part, but yeah, going through that, nah. And Layla won't be having any kids until she's 60, so I don't need to worry about that. I mean 70. I got that wrong. 60's too young. I told her she has to stay 9 for another 10 years. And it's so strange to see time passes by so slowly in the day, and then it doesn't. And she, oh, daddy, I don't need the booster chair anymore. Like, oh man, you're getting old, girl, you're getting big. You don't need the booster chair. She's like, I'll sit in it one last time for you. So we went for a ride where she was in the booster chair. Oh man, she was just a little thing. And now she's her own little person who cracks me up. She's so funny. She's such a ham. Oh, what's that, Miss Anita? I'm not going out. Okay. All right. So what I'll do is I'll have them call you, Miss Anita, when they're gonna come by. Tomorrow is Friday, so it'll probably be like maybe 11 or so. Kind of typing that into the chat for you. All right. Yes, I will pass that on. If anyone on G2 has happened to be listening on the podcast, we do need to go to Miss Anita's and pick up a package tomorrow. If you're not listening, I will contact you after and give you the information. Thank you, Miss Anita, as usual. And I have been using my massager. Okay, I understand. I don't necessarily answer my phone if there's no ID on it either. So I hear you. I understand for sure. Yeah, it's so funny. While we're waiting on Mr. Bailey, who's probably out there doing some type of work. Miss Cynthia, when are you coming on to the Conduit? You were getting ready for your birthday and whatnot, but folks need to hear from you. When are you coming on to the Conduit? I'm just saying. I think it's past time. We almost had it scheduled before. I tell you what, it's been pretty crazy trying to get all this thing going. All right. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, I'll text him the info. It's a box of potatoes and a couple jackets. So I'll send that over there so that he has it. Mm. I don't drink milk, but we have folks that we can give it to for sure. Yogurt and cheese, I can do that. You got so many. Thanks, Rob. We'll make sure it gets to someone who can use it, Miss Anita, for sure. How are you feeling, by the way, Miss Anita? I don't know if you're on the podcast or if you just happen to be on Facebook private messaging me at the same time. Now, if I'm not mistaken, because I don't want to get it wrong, Miss Anita just had her 82nd birthday recently. And like I said, tireless. I had half of that energy, the things that I could get accomplished. Yeah, I understand. Mobility's getting a little bit slower. Yeah, you still do a lot. You still do quite a bit. While there is Rob, since you're on, will you go ahead and type in the chat what you're looking for? So we may have a rather large framing job coming up, and we are in the need of skilled laborers to go alongside some of the folks that don't have any experience, but we do need some skilled laborers. As there are some luxury homes that we may be building here in the county. And when I say luxury, they require craftsmanship, accuracy, high quality work. So we are looking for skilled framers. Go ahead and type that in the chat there, Rob. I believe it's framers. If there's anything else, let me know. There is so much violence going on right now. So much senseless death. Thank you, Cynthia. You asked some people who you work with who need jobs. Okay, many of them have. Okay, awesome. Great. And then right below that, Cynthia, Rob, I know you know our number. Or Rob is putting the contact there. Newsweek had an article. Let me pull that up and share it with you. "181 Black people have been killed by police since George Floyd's death. Last May, while in Minneapolis police custody, 181 Black people in the U.S. have been killed by police, according to the data research group Mapping Police Violence. Of the 966 police killings reported since May 25, 2020, the database shows that Black people account for 18.7%. And the reason why that's alarming is we only make up 13% of the population. But wait, there's more. And I'm scrolling back up here because this is by Catherine Fung on April 20th. So this is very recent. So again, Black people make up 13% of the U.S. population, but 18%, almost 19% of the deaths. We don't talk about the other stats, and we should. Police killings of white victims made up 37% of total deaths. But here's the deal: white Americans are 76% of the population. Double, double in the other direction. Mapping police violence's data also indicated that the total police killings since Floyd's death, 11.7% were Hispanic victims, 1% were Native American, and another 1% were Asian or Pacific Islander. The race of the victim was unknown in 359 deaths. Now, to me, this is a tremendously alarming stat. First off, how is it that you do not know the race of the victim? Second, there were 966 police killings since May of 2020. So we're not even talking about 12 months yet. It'll be 11 months here in a few days. But very close to, or a little more than a third, are unknown in regards to race. See, that's concerning to me. And usually what that means is that it's underreported. Because we don't want these numbers to look too crazy, right? But when you add this up, you're looking at 1% for Native American, 1% for Pacific Islander, that's 2%, 11.7% for Hispanic victims. We'll go ahead and round that to 12 for our math, that's 14%. We'll add another 37% for the white population, 14 plus 37 is 51. And then when you add the other 19%, you're talking about 70%. So again, 30%. They don't know what the race is? Hmm. Hmm. In 1,127 police killings recorded in 2020, only 16 cases, or about 1.4%, resulted in charge against the offending officer. So think of all the situations where there wasn't a body cam or witnesses or cell phone cameras. If I had $1,127 and I just gave you 16 of it, you'd be hot if we were supposed to share it. I want to try to find a way for you to put that number into your mind. If you have $100, that means you'd get $1.40 out of that 100. 1.4% resulted in a charge, not a guilty verdict, just a charge. And now, how are they counting those cases? Because in George Floyd's case, right, there's 3 other men that were charged. So is that part of the 16 cases? You have Breonna Taylor. You have some the other cases that have taken place that were high profile. 1,111 cases. 1111 have not resulted in charges. And I'm not saying that they all should have, because we don't know the facts. But that's the problem. We don't know the facts. Of the officers identified by mapping police violence, at least 14 had shot or killed someone in the past. Numbers gathered between 2013 and 2020 indicate that Black people are 3 times more likely to be killed by police than white people, despite being 1.3 times more likely to be unarmed than white people. These figures are amplified when looking at the country's largest cities. In 47 of the 50 largest U.S. cities, police killed by Black people at higher rates than white people. In Chicago, police killed Black people at a rate of 22 times more than that of white people, based on the killings per 100,000 population. In Miami, racial disparities cannot be calculated because every person killed by the city police department was Black or brown. Wait, I need to read that again. In Miami, racial disparities could not be calculated because every person killed by that city's police department was Black or brown. You know, we're exposed to these things, and it's on to the next, right? Viral video, world star hip hop. It's not even flavor of the month. Back when I was growing up, that was the saying, right? It's almost flavor of the minute now. Over time, police killings have decreased in cities. However, these deaths have been on the rise in suburban and rural areas. And while some cities have seen substantial reductions in police killings, like Chicago, other cities, like Denver, have not. Of the 181 police killings of Black people since Floyd's death, the highest number of killings occurred in Florida with 19 victims. Followed by California, where there were 17, and Texas and Georgia, where each recorded 13.